Greetings to one and all. In today's session, we will be seeing the different modes in which we can open or use a file through our C programming. Right? Till now, we have seen that we can write something inside our file, but for that, the file needs to be opened in the write mode. Okay? If we want to write something inside a file, we have to open it in write mode. Suppose we want to read something from a file, then we have to open it in read mode. Right? So, depending upon the operation, either write or read, correspondingly, the file should be opened in the correct mode. Okay, so these are called the file handling modes in which the file needs to be opened in order to perform certain specific operation for with respect to the file. So now, just a minute. So now let us see the different file handling modes. Okay, so the different file handling modes are, first is the read mode. In this read mode, it will open the existing file. Okay, the file should already be existing. It will open it in the read mode only. And if the file is not present, then it will not create a new file. Okay, if the file exists, then only it will be opened in read mode. Suppose the file does not exist, then it will not create the new file. What it will do, it will give you an error if the file does not exist and if you try to open it in read mode. Okay, so remember this point, file should compulsory be in existence if you want to open it in the read mode. Okay, next is the write mode. In the write mode, the file will be opened. Then if the file is not present, then the new file will be created automatically. Right, this is the important difference between read and write mode. If file is not already existing and if you try to open the absent file in the write mode, then what will happen, it will create the file first, okay, and then it will be opened. Right, but if the file is already present, then what will happen, if the file is already present, then its contents, already existing contents, if it has, it will get erased first. And then since you have opened the file in write mode, you will be able to write certain content to it. Okay, so if the file is already present and if it has certain content, it will get erased and then it will be opened in the write mode. Suppose the file already exists but there is no content in it, then it is like you're writing inside a new file. Okay, next mode is append. It is similar to write mode. Now the meaning of append is to insert certain content at the end of the file. Okay, inserting content at the end of the file means to append the content. This means that if a file already exists and if it has certain content in it, just a minute. So if a file already exists and it has certain content in it, then that content does not get erased. That means you can add new content to your file, okay, without erasing the previously existing content. Now, if the file is not present, then here also a new file will be created automatically, and then it will be opened in the append mode. Append mode is nothing but writing at the end of the content of the file so that the content of the file does not get erased. Okay. So the position of the cursor in your file will be at the end of the file whenever you open it in the append mode. Right? In the read mode, for example, suppose you have certain content in the file. Suppose this is the content in your file. Then when you open it in read mode, the cursor will be before the letter T, before the cursor will be here. Suppose you open your file in the write mode, then also your cursor will be before the letter T, before the. But suppose you open your file in the append mode, then the cursor will be at the end of the file, that is after the full stop, that is after the word round full stop. Here the cursor will be. So wherever the cursor is, from that particular position, you will be able to perform the operation in your file. If it is reading, then it will start from the beginning. If it is writing, it will start from the beginning. But if it is So we have understood the position of the file pointer, which is nothing but the cursor. Okay, you can call file pointer as the cursor also. Okay, in append it will be at the end of the already existing content of the file. Now suppose you open an empty file in the append mode, means the file exists but it does not have any content inside it, and you're opening it in append mode. Then where is the end of the file? At the beginning itself, right? Because file is empty. So it is similar to write mode. Okay, if you open a empty file in the append mode, then it is similar to the write mode. Okay, then you can say that contents will be preserved if it is in the append mode. Next is R plus, W plus, and A plus. Okay, now these are an extension of the read, write, and append mode. Okay, R plus means what it will do, it will open the existing file in the read and write mode. Okay, see my mouse pointer. R plus mode, what it will do, it will open the existing file in the read and write mode. Okay, and if the file is not present, then it will not create a new file. If it opens a file in read and write mode, means that you can perform both the operations, that is reading as well as writing with respect to the file. Okay, means using R plus mode, you don't have to open first in read mode and then in write mode, or write mode and then read mode. What you can do, you can open the file in read write mode, means both the operations can be performed, reading as well as writing, if you open the file in R plus mode. Important thing is, the characteristic of read mode is what? If the file is not present, then it will not create a new file. Okay, next is W plus mode. Say, okay, in W plus mode, what is the difference? In W plus mode, you can open the file again in read write mode, but this time if the file is not present, then a new file will be created automatically. Okay, and if the file is already present, then its contents will get erased automatically. So what is the difference between R plus and W plus mode? In R plus mode, you will be able to open the file in read write mode, but if the file does not exist, it will not be able to create a new file. So it will give you an error. And then what is the characteristic of W plus mode? If the file does not exist, then it will first create the file and then open it, so that you can perform both reading as well as writing operations. Okay. Similarly, as append mode, we have append plus, A plus mode also. So what it will do here, it will open the file in read and write mode here also. And if the file is not present, it will create a new file, right? Till now we know this. And the characteristic is that if the file is already present, then its contents will be preserved. So you can assume that R plus, W plus, and A plus mode are nothing but the extension of R, W, and A mode, in which you can perform both the operations. Okay, so I summarize this. In read mode, what you will be able to do, you'll only be able to read the file. And if the file does not exist, then it will give you an error if you open it in read mode. In write mode, you can only write inside the file. And if the file does not exist, then first it will create a new file. And then you can write certain content inside that file. What is append mode or A mode? In append mode, you will be able to preserve the already existing content of the file and start writing from the end of the file. Okay. Now extending these modes to R plus, W plus, and A plus. R plus mode means what? You can read as well as write inside the file. Okay, you don't have to use two modes, that is read and write. You don't have to use two separate modes. You have to use a single mode, that is R plus. But the file, if it does not exist, then it will not be created. It will give you an error if you try to open it in R plus mode and if the file does not exist. What about W plus mode? If the file does not exist, then first it will be created and then you can write as well as read, right? And A plus mode is what? Append mode, in which you can read as well as write. But if the file already exists and has certain content, then it will be preserved. Okay, so just remember, if there is a plus, then that mode is such that you can read as well as write. Okay, so these are the different modes. Now in addition to this, you have certain other modes also. Just like how you have read, write, and append, these are for the text files. Okay, read, write, append is for the text file. R plus, W plus, A plus, RWA. All these are for the text files. Okay. Now I've told you in the beginning only that you can perform this file handling operations on a text file as well as on a binary file. Okay. So if you want to deal with text files, then you can use the modes for text files. The modes are R, W, A, then R plus, W plus, and A plus. But if you want to open or you want to deal with binary files, if you want to read or write with respect to binary files, then you must use the modes like, instead of R, you must use RB. Instead of W, you must use WB. Then instead of append or A, you must use AB. Then instead of R plus, you can use RB plus. Instead of W plus, you can use WB plus. And instead of A plus, you can use AB plus. Okay, so the modes that we already know are RWA, R plus, W plus, A plus. Simply add the B after the modes, the letter B. What it will become? The same operations can be performed for the binary files. Okay, the extension for the text files will be .txt. Okay, in which we can directly read the content. Like this notepad file is a text file. It has the extension .txt, which I can directly read what is written in the file. But binary files have the extension .bin, bin, and you cannot directly read the content of such files, because whatever content is written, it is not readable to the user directly. Okay, you have to either convert the binary content of the file into some readable format into the English language, and then you can read it. Okay, so binary files cannot be read directly. In the next session, we will see the examples of read and write operations for the binary files as well. Okay, so till now we have already seen the read mode, write mode, and append mode in our programs. Today we will see R plus, W plus, and A mode, A plus mode, an example for these three modes. Okay, for the text files. And we'll also see the use of another function called as rewind function. Okay, rewind function. Just a moment. So in this program, what we have done, I have done already, that I have included the header files stdio.h and stdlib.h. Okay, and then I have used one main function. Now I have to define my main function. So let us see this program. So what I'm doing, I have created a file pointer fp. Okay, and then I'm declaring a string str whose length is 10. Okay, that means I can have how many characters? 9 characters plus one null character. And then I have a character variable ch. Now I'm opening a file using my file pointer, and the name of the file which I'm opening is string.txt. And in which mode I'm opening? W plus. So if I'm using W plus mode, the things that you need to keep in mind is, if the file does not exist, then first it will be created, and then you will be able to open it in the write mode, and then you can read it as well. Okay, so whenever it is in W plus mode, first if it will be created if it does not exist. If it exists, directly you can access the file, and then you can open it in the write as well as read mode. Means you can either perform read operation then write operation, or you can perform write operation and then read operation. Okay, you can perform both the operations by using the single mode. Further, I'm checking whether the file has been opened successfully or not. Right? We have seen this. If the file pointer is null only, that means you cannot open the file. Error has occurred. The file is not being able to get opened due to some reason. And then I can directly exit from my program using this built-in function call. That is exit and pass some parameter 1, 0 or any integer value, positive integer value. Okay, if the file cannot be opened in this program, what I'm doing, I'm directly terminating the execution of my program. Then next, I'm going to, if the file opens successfully, that means I will not be able to terminate my program. I will remain inside the execution of my program. Then I'm telling the user, please enter a line of text. So whatever the user enters, he will enter certain string value. And how can we accept the string from the output window? Using the scanf function, but there the multi-word string will not be able to get stored properly in memory. So what will happen? We can use the gets function to accept the multi-word strings. Now I have obtained the string, I have stored it in the string variable str. Now what I will do, I have the string with me. I need to write the string inside my file. Okay, I have the string, I've accepted it from the user, I need to write it inside my file. Here I'm going to use the fputs function, fputs function. Okay, fputs or fputs, it is the same thing. So what I'll pass to this built-in function call, the string that I want to write inside my file, as well as the file pointer. So I'm going to perform the write operation to my string.txt file. Okay, so we have seen that we have accepted the string and we have written it to the file. Now what will happen? Let me give you a small elaboration on this topic. See here, I have a particular file and I have opened it in, suppose, W plus mode. Okay, I've opened it in W plus mode. So what will happen? I have certain content like A, B, C. So how this content I have written, how this string I have written inside my file. So first what happens, whenever you open it in R mode, W plus, R plus, the file pointer is initially at the beginning. Then you will want to write certain content inside your file. So suppose the first character gets written. Then what will happen? The file pointer comes after that character. So now file pointer is after the character A. Now next word or next character will get written, that is B. Then file pointer will come after the character B. Then I can write my next character C. Okay, and finally the file pointer will be after the character C. Okay, so at the current position of the file pointer, that is after the character C, from there onwards I can perform read operation or write operation. Right? Okay, so this we have understood. But suppose I want to, now I have written my content. I have written it. Now I want to read it. I want to read the content ABC. But my file pointer is after the C character. So I can read only from the current position of the file pointer onwards. Means after C, if there is anything, I can read it. After C, I can write certain content. But whatever is before C, means ABC, that I cannot read or write. Okay, because the current position of the file pointer or the cursor is after the content of the file. Right, I hope you have understood this. So what is the remedy? One thing that you can do is, you can close your file. Okay, you had opened it in whichever mode, then you close it. Once you close your file, the file pointer will automatically go to the starting of the file. Okay, whenever you open it after closing, now you have closed your file. Now if you want to open it again in whichever mode, suppose read or write, then what will happen? The file pointer will come before the content of the file, that is before the character A. Now the cursor is where, or the file pointer is where, before the content of the file, that is before the character A. So now from how the read or write operation will take place, it will take place from the cursor or from the file pointer onwards. That means you will be able to read A, B, C and so on. Okay, so wherever the file pointer or the cursor is, from there onwards you can perform the read or write operation. So the remedy is close the file and again open. But this may not be possible, or it will become hectic or tedious if you have many files, right? If you have many files, each one you'll have to close and open again and again after writing. But in order to avoid such situations, the C programming platform provides you certain built-in function called as rewind. Using the rewind function, what you will be able to do is you will be able to manipulate or change the position of the file pointer without closing or opening your file. Okay, means first you open your file, you have written certain content ABC. So now the file cursor or the file pointer is after the character C, that is after the complete content of the file. Now if you want to bring the cursor at the beginning of the file or before the content of the file, then you must use the rewind function. What the rewind function will do, wherever the current position of the cursor is, it may be after C or it may be anywhere, okay, anywhere in the file, what it will do, it will bring the cursor to the beginning of the file. So after applying the rewind function, suppose now I have applied the rewind function, now what will happen? Now the file will be appearing like this. After applying rewind function, the cursor which was at the end of the file over here will come to the beginning, means now the cursor is before the character A. Okay, so the cursor has come to the beginning position at the start of the file, and now you can perform read or write operation. Means if you perform read operation, you will be able to read ABC. If you perform write operation, what will happen? The content of the file will start being written from this position before A. So now if you have opened in write mode and if your cursor is over here at the beginning of the file, then what will happen? You will start writing from the cursor position. Means whatever you write will be written over here before A. So suppose I want to write the characters D, E, F. I want to write D, E, F. Now the cursor position is where? Before A. So how the content of the file will become, I will show you. So now the file will become like this. After you write DEF, the content of the file will become D, E, F, and after that the before content, that is ABC, will be written, will be present. Okay, so wherever the cursor position is there, from there onwards you can read. That means you will be able to read ABC. Or if the cursor is before A and if you want to write, then whatever you want to write will be written before ABC over here. So first you will write that DEF and then you will find the content ABC. Okay, so wherever the cursor is, from there onwards. Okay, remember this key point. So now in W plus mode, what we have done, we have written something to our file. Now we apply the rewind function. So where the cursor will go? Before the content of the file. And from here onwards, I will start reading my file. That means I will get the output ABC. Okay, so let's get back to our program. So rewind function syntax is what? Rewind, and within the parenthesis, you pass the file pointer. That is FP in this case. So now file pointer or the cursor will come at the beginning of the file. Okay. So now I want to read the content of the file. So from where I will be able to read? From the beginning of the file. So I will be able to read ABC. Now the syntax for reading a file, we know that we can use the getc function or the fgetc function. Okay. Getc and fgetc will perform the same operation. That is, it can extract a particular character from the file and it will display it, or it will get stored in the ch variable in this case. What the getc or fgetc function will do, it will obtain the character from the file and it will store it in the ch variable in this case. If ch is the end of file character, then I have to break because I have reached the end of my file. But suppose that is not the case, I will not break from my infinite while loop. I will print the ch value. What is the value of ch variable? It is the character in the file. Okay, so I'll read the first character. It will be stored in ch, then the cursor will move ahead. I can read the next character, then the cursor will move ahead, and so on. We know this. And then finally, I will close my file using the fclose function. Okay, so I hope you have understood this program. Now let us execute it and see. So what I'm doing, the first thing is I need to accept a particular string that needs to be written inside my file. Okay, so enter the line of text is being displayed. So then the user will enter certain text. For example, the one that you can see here, my name is Sanjay Gupta, I live in India. So this text, which is containing multiple words, has been written at the output window. So it will get stored in the memory. Okay, and then when I go and press enter, what will happen? I'm going to read my file, right? And I'm going to display whatever I'm going to read from the file. So whatever content I had written over here, that was stored in the memory, and that was written inside my file. And whatever is written inside my file, I have successfully read it and printed it at the output window over here. Okay, right? So as I said, first the enter line of text happened, then it got stored in the str variable. Then I put it inside my file using the fputs function. Then what happened? Rewind happened. Rewind happened means what? Cursor went to the beginning of the file. And then while the content is present in the file, that means while I have not reached the end of file character, I have read the file character by character. And then what has happened? I have printed that character over here, right? Using printf %c ch. So that is why you are getting the content of the file. Now let us see what is the content of our file. Let us open the file actually and see whether the content was successfully stored in the file or not. So the name of the file was string.txt, right? You can see it over here, string.txt. So I'm going to open this file, and as you can see, the content in the file is the one that I had entered. My name is Sanjay Gupta, I live in India. Okay, so this was the use of rewind function. Okay. Suppose I didn't use rewind function, then I would not be able to read the content. Why? Because cursor would be at the end of the file. So at the end of the file, further there is no content. So how I will read? Okay. And we have seen the application of W plus mode, right? We have opened it in the read as well as write mode. Okay. So first we were able to write, and then we were able to read. If I didn't use W plus mode, what I would have to do, I will show you now. If I didn't have W plus mode, then first I would have to open my file in the write mode. Then I will write the string. Okay, so when I open my file in write mode, the cursor is at the beginning of the file. I write some string in my file. Okay, now the cursor, suppose this was only the content that I wanted to write, that is the string I wanted to write. Now cursor is at the end of the file. Now I will close my file. Now I had to again open it in the read mode, so that my cursor now is at the beginning of my file. And then I will have to read the content, and it would be read until the end of the file. And then again I had to close the thing. But due to W plus mode and rewind function, what I had to do, I had to only open my file in the W plus mode, so that I can perform read and write together, or without using different modes, I can read and write using a single mode. Okay, so I'll open it in W plus mode so that I can read as well as write. So first I will write something to my file. I'll write some content. Then I can use the rewind function if I want to read from the beginning of the content, and then I will read the content. And then only once I'll have to close. So the normal way was what? Open, close, again close. But using W plus mode, only once you had to open, you had to perform all the operations, and only once you had to close. Okay, so this was the use of the plus modes and the rewind function. I hope you have understood these concepts. If you have any doubts, you can ask me, and you can try for the other modes like R plus mode and A plus mode, and you can keep playing with the cursor position and see how the different ways you can read and write depending on the position of the cursor. Okay, so I leave these tasks to you for self demonstration. If you have any doubts, you can ask me, or if you want me to prepare another video for the R plus mode and A plus mode, you can let me know. Okay, thank you.